How to think like a genius. In this video, we'll explain 3 simple rules to think like a genius, specifically like Leonardo da Vinci. Because most people click on this video because we want to know how to solve problems faster. And in the way we can understand this is how Leonardo thought. But before the rules, the first frame, the first main concept of this video is this. Leonardo was an observer, not just a simple observer. Leonardo thought in layers. And in the way we can, Leonardo thought in layers is like this. He tried to be an observer in different layers and tried to organize and decode one simple elements in different frames, different layers. For example, when you recognize his drawings and human being and how he tried to decode the first frame or the first silhouette and recognize all the information and try to analyze different elements to decode. But the first silhouette, the first frame, the first layer, it's the most important because it's the first point of view of the object to analyze, the object to decode. So when you try to recognize or try to solve one simple problem, you need to decode or recognize the first layer to go more depth. So we can pass to another rule of this video. Leonardo was a systemic thinker. In other words, he thought in systems. Everything is interconnected. Everything is a machine who works in different elements but in different systems to integrate a simple masterpiece. Like his drawings in human being, he tried to recognize different layers across different systems to understand how the human being works, or the system of nature, architecture, engineering, different systems he tried to recognize in different elements across the power of observation. But what does it mean for you? You need to solve one problem, but this problem have different solutions and systems. So you can recognize how the machine works, how the machine is composed. So this is the way we can recognize how elements work in a simple system. So in the way we can recognize, analyze, and synthesize systems, we can solve problems more faster. And the last rule of this video is this. You need to practice a global vision. In other words, recognize a holistic vision. Because most people know to solve one problem in perhaps in the different systems, but we need to recognize and understand there are different systems or different perspectives to solve one problem. So in the way we can understand there are different disciplines to solve one problems, we can practice the global vision. For example, Leonardo was trying to explain this with a simple masterpiece. He tried to explain human being and the world of geometry and try to recognize the integration of different disciplines to synthesize one system and recognize how to solve the problems of oneness. Because in the way we can decode or recognize solve how to solve different problems in a one perspective, we can synthesize all information to recognize and decode the global vision of the mind. Because this is really important, because we want to know how to solve one problem in different perspectives to solve all the problems we have. For example, for this channel, we want to know how to solve in a simple masterpiece business, productivity, neuroscience, and self-improvement. In the way we can analyze different layers or different elements and try to organize and recognize different systems, like systems of the geometry and the system of human being, and try to join in a simple masterpiece to synthesize this information and try to recognize different layers or a different global vision or a holistic vision. We are trying to recognize these different elements and try to solve problems. And the most powerful thing of all of this is we need to understand how to solve problems with systems, with visual systems, because this is the way we can decode the mind. We can decode different perspectives, and the first frame or the first step to think like a genius. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying here. Thank you all of you guys to stay here. So let me see in the comments, what do you think about the systemic thinker to think in a holistic vision across different layers, across the power of observation? Let me see in the comments, what do you think about all of this. Mi casa es tu casa. See you soon in the next video. Nos vemos pronto. Muchas gracias. Adiós. Chao, chao. Bye.